Hello, welcome to the True Crime Lounge. My name is Breezy, and today we are going to be finishing up our mini series of designer crimes, and we were talking about the fashion designer Anand John. Now, I'll be honest with y'all, I have no clue who this guy was. But before I get started with any of this I do have a YouTube channel you can check out. I have a podcast as well. You can also find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and also check out my merch shop, Help a Girl Out. um, this is the last episode in our mini series of designer crimes. Our next mini series is going to be called "I Survived." I'll try to get to it as possible. I am back in school and working, right now, so I will get to it as soon as I can. But why don't we take a little break, and then when we come back, we'll dive into who this guy is, because I honestly had no clue who he was. Alright, and we are back on the True Crime Lounge. Now, honestly, I had no clue who this guy was. When I was doing my research, I was trying to think of fashion houses that had crime happen. Well, he popped up, so upon research, I was like, I'm interested in doing this case. So here we are. Anand John, who was born Anand John Alexander, was born November 1976 in Kerala, India. He is a fashion designer and company director, and his biography includes being 46 years old. He's a Sagittarius, born November 28, 1976. Oh, sorry, guys. Anyway, and you can also check him out. On the complete list of famous people born on November 28th. He is a member of the famous fashion house with the 46-year-old age group. His net worth has been growing significantly. It's 2022 to 2023. And so, how much is his net worth at the age of 46? And his income source is mostly from being a successful fashion designer. He is from India, and he has estimated net worth about 1 million to 5 million. So, why don't we, now that we have established that, when we come back, we're going to jump into the timeline of him and go from there. Alright, we're going to start in 1976, all the way up to present day. So, with Mr. Alexander, also known as Anand John, being an Indian-born American fashion designer who appeared on America's Next Top Model and was listed in the Newsweek of Who's Next in 2007. So in November 2008, he was convicted in the Los Angeles court on one count of rape and multiple counts of lesser sexual offenses. He was sentenced to 59 years and was facing similar charges in New York. But before his trial began in 2013, the New York prosecutors had independently dismissed almost all of his charges, in which case featured almost the same witnesses' charges overlapping with the Los Angeles case. He was subsequently accepted a time-served plea for all 49 counts in exchange for the prosecutors turning over proceeded a writ of habeas corpus with California convictions. So, 1999, he was born into a he has a Hindu Jewish Christian background. 16, he ran a scholarship to the Art Institute in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He moved to the States and then moved to New York and joined the Parsons School of Design, making him the transition from fine arts to fashion. So, some Parsons alumni included Marc Jacobs, Tom Ford, and Donna Karan, and for whom he's interned. So upon graduating from Parsons, under the mentorship of the Associate Dean Tim Gunn of the Project Runway TV fame, he launched his debut collection, Amazon, in 1999, and he is the first Indian to debut at 7th of 6 New York Fashion Week. In 2006, he designed clothes for designers like Miss Mary J. Blige, Paris Hilton, and Janet Jackson. In 2006, he owned the denim design company Genesis Fashion Inc. And some years later, he received capitalization from Stevens and Company Investment. He was also scheduled to introduce an atomized collection during the Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week during the Smashbox match of 2007. So, in 2007, he was arrested in Beverly Hills on rape and related charges, and he pled not guilty to all charges. He had no prior history of violence and no felony conviction. In 2008, he was convicted on one count of rape of an adult woman, multiple charges, other charges including unlawful conduct and contributing to the delinquency of minors. He was scheduled to be sentenced January 13, 2009. In 2009, although there was many concerns about a miscarriage of justice in the Amon John Alexander case, in July 2009, the judge denied a request for a new trial and dismissed the attorneys before his sentencing to be suspected that they were in collaboration with the prosecutors. He asked and was granted permission to represent himself in the sentencing phase in the proceedings. On August 31st, 2009, he was sentenced to 59 years to life. Which leads us all the way up to 2019. So, in one of those irregularities related to juror number 12, during the trial, he violated his oath on several occasions that was referred to by his lawyers on an impartial juror. Although prohibited, juror number 12 had discussed the case with his tenant and told him how he felt. Due to the fellow juror's anger toward him, juror number 12 felt he was pressured to give a verdict that he didn't want to. Also, during deliberation, several jurors complained to the judge that juror number 12 was refusing to properly deliberate and had made up his mind about the evidence. Although the jury foreman had requested that juror number 12 be removed for refusal to deliberate, it was denied by Judge Wesley. Another controversy regarding juror number 12 was his attempt to initiate contact with the defendant's sister, Sanwana. Under fear of repercussion from her brother, she responded to juror number 12's demand and handed him during the trial. It was later pointed out that by John's team of lawyers that November, juror number 12 had changed his vote from not guilty to guilty. After the defendant's sister refused to meet him, before the verdict was reached, juror number 12 reinitiated contact with Sanwana. How was he not dismissed? Like, seriously, how? Why? Anyway, once again asking to meet him. After she informed the court, a meeting was scheduled and arranged for her to record a meeting with a wire. Prior to the meeting, juror number 12 was intercepted by district attorney investigators, informing him of the criminal charges he was under, thus sabotaging the meeting. The trial judge refused to consider and hold evidentiary hearings in these matters, and the defendant's request for a new trial was denied. So, another controversy connected to the LA trial was the show of inconsistencies in the victim's stories and use of false testimonies during the trial, in which it was detected has led to destroy crucial Anand John case statements and number of alleged victims who asserted that he had never sexually assaulted them. John dismissed his team of lawyers during the penalty phase, as believed he was collaborating with the prosecution. Additionally, the defense lawyer's daughter, Elizabeth, took a job at the DA's office during the trial, in which she was working with Anand John's defense crew. During the New York case, featuring almost the same witnesses and similar charges, the New York DA's office dropped almost all of the charges against John. The prosecution offered a time-served plea in a single count, in which Anand accepted. In exchange for his plea, prosecutors agreed with his appeal in California. And the judges had ineffective counsel in California. The Manhattan documents indicate that the California lawyers never obtained vital documents and correspondence showing the accusers were screening their stories among their several lawyers. He is the nephew of Indian classical musician and playback singer KJ Yasodas. Anand John's mother, Shashi Abraham, and his sister Sanjana John were successful businesswomen and advocates for freedom, urging the governments of the USA and India to intervene and grant a new trial. Throughout his career, Alexander has received many awards, recognitions, and been the cultural ambassador for India in the contribution of fashion. He has won the Rising Star Award for Fashion Week in the Americas, Designer of the Year at the Vancouver Fashion Week, and he was celebrity host for MTV Asia and VH1 Awesomely Bad Fashions. And he has appeared on America's Next Top Model with Tyra Banks and Paris News with Paris Hilton. So, we talked about the timeline of his crimes, supposed crimes, right? Before I dive into his biography, what do y'all think? Do y'all think that he didn't get a fair trial? Do you think that the judge should have granted him a new trial to begin with? Or should charges have ever been brought up at all? But we know he was born in South India in 1974, and he was an apprentice to master the artisans in crafting jewelry from different metals. In 1981, when he was 17, he moved to the States. He studied graphic design at the Art Institute in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, then moved to New York and joined the Parsons School of Design, making the transition from fine arts to fashion. While he was at Parsons, he designed jewelry and graduated in the major of fashion design and communication. In 1998, at the age of 24, John launched his own label on Amazon, and his spring-summer collection, 99, was shown at the Bryant Park in New York Fashion Week. It was called Functional Luxury, Indo-Chic. The critical acclaim from media and retail, like some, with the collections represented. I mediate between John goes and say, I meditate every night, and upon walking up my email, walking up to check my email, John reflecting his transcendental yet technological lifestyle. So, his origins in fine jewelry. He also has joined his sister Sanjana in the team making jewelry in Ottoman accents. In India, January 2000, he picked up one of the one among he was picked him as among 21 faces of the future, while East Magazine and the influential agents in A Magazine, January 2000, picked him up as an A-list top 20 agents to to watch for next century. So what exactly was the look of his? Well, his designs show extravagance of rich colors, patterns, fabrics, and expressing the glamour and mysticism of the East. He is also used in the heritage of many modern Western kind of way. His clothes are very, very unique. Sorry guys, it's Sunday and it's time for my nap. But anyway, embraced the enhanced sensuality of the human body, capturing the romantic mysticism of millennium. So, who are some of the people that has worn his clothes? Well, Nadia Worstworski, Lynn Whitfield, Susan Lucci, Alanis Morissette, Mary J. Blige, Maya Amanda Lewis, Courtney Love, Sasha Tripathi, Gina Torres, nominee, Cherokee, and Paris Hilton. That is it for this episode. That is it for this episode of the last of the mini series for Designer Crimes. Be on the lookout. I will have more episodes coming soon. Like I said, I do have school and work, so I'll try to get it in when I can. Also, go check out my merch shop and my YouTube channel. You can find me on Spotify and YouTube, as well as Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, where I will post updates on my social media and merch shop. Till then, I will see y'all later.